Good morning. God bless you. It is 1:07 in the morning. I am in Smith Grove, Kentucky. I had to do my 34-hour reset before I head out. I didn't have no time to drive, so I had to stop. But today I'll leave. I'll leave today, heading to Houston, Texas, to deliver this load. Well, today I want to talk about health. Many people say, how do I do it? How do I stay the weight that I am? So I have told a lot of people, like, it's basically what you eat. You know, it's not rocket science. It's not something hard for people to understand. You know, we live in America, so everything is very, you know, in your hands. Everything you can get whatever, a hamburger, pizza, hot dogs at whatever time of the day. And a lot of those foods are not healthy. Why I say that? Because the meat is probably processed meat. It's, you know, has so many, you know, antibiotics and growth hormones, which is not good for human consumption. So what I do is I eat in my truck. I would say 90% of the time I eat in my truck. And why I say 90? Because there are times that I do give myself a treat. I'm not gonna, you know, deny myself. And when I say treat, I don't say like junk food. I like to eat out. I like to explore new restaurants. Yesterday, there was a mom and pop restaurant down the road from the truck stop. I had breakfast there. And I had pancakes, eggs, bacon, biscuit, and gravy. And hot tea. I don't drink coffee. And no juices. I don't drink juices unless it's fresh squeezed, you know, orange. If they don't have it, then I'm not getting it. Those are my treats. I'm not a big fan of candy bars and chips, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I love food. You know, I really do. That's why I have to, one of the reasons why I have to work out. So I cook all my food in the truck, and where I do my groceries, it is mainly in Walmart, because that's where we are able to park for only 2 hours. And I get my groceries and then I leave. But if I have the chance to go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, I'll stop and get my groceries there. And what I buy is usually the same thing all the time. Dry beans, oatmeal, cottage cheese, fruit and vegetables. Okay. Why, people ask? Why you don't have variety of food? Is my truck is not that big. The refrigerator is not big. So I have to do with what I have. So in the morning, I eat 4 eggs, spinach, cottage cheese, and I'll sprinkle honey, raw honey, or sometimes peanut butter, depending on what I want on that day. And then my second meal is gonna be beans, any type of beans, black beans, garbanzo beans, red beans, lentils. And what I do is I put it in a crock pot, and I put tomato paste, I put cumin, turmeric, salt and pepper, and paprika to give it some taste. And ground beef, or sometimes ground chicken, or ground turkey, if they have it in the store. Not all the times they have ground turkey and ground chicken at the grocery store. So I get what they have, but usually that's the majority of my groceries. And there's sometimes that I get sauerkraut, but usually I get the sauerkraut from the deli or from the Amish. I get like a big little tub, 24-ounce tub. I get that, and I like to eat that just out of the tub. A lot of people don't like it, but it's good for your intestines. And then I just exercise. Every day I'm doing something. Every day I walk. I don't stop walking. Every day I walk an hour and 15 minutes. I try to do to 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. That's why I wake up early. That's why I go to sleep early. Just think about it. You know, you stop for the night. You gotta rest. You gotta rest 10 hours. That's mandatory. That's federal law. So you stop, and the first thing you do, I know for me, when I was heavy, I would get on my phone. I would scroll. I'll start researching things that I want to learn about. And when you come and see, it's just an hour or two you already spent scrolling. That's not good. Because you're sitting down for 10 to 11 hours driving. Now you're sitting for another 2 hours. So I decided, after my doctor told me, hey, dude, you need to lose this weight. Because when he looked at my chart, he said it was bad. It was bad, which it was. My cholesterol, high blood pressure, triglycerides, they were bad. It was bad. So what clicked for me was when he said to me, you want to be there for your grandkids? You want to be there for your loved ones? You got to change. And then at that time, I was like, yeah, I want to change. I want to be there for my loved ones. And I just started walking. You know, after I seen he recommended to go and see a nutritionist. I went to see the nutritionist, and so the nutritionist recommended a personal trainer, and I took his advice because I had to work. I couldn't just see the guy every 3 days a week. So I was able to do one session, and then I took that session because I told him, I said, I want to know exactly what I need to do. be healthy. So he wrote down what I supposed to do for a week. And that's what I did. I followed along. I've been doing that for quite some time now, and it has worked for me. I went from 256 all the way to 203 pounds. And when I hear people, oh, it's just hard, and I say, okay, yeah, it's hard. Everything is hard. Just look at what would affect you. And I think as men, the most thing that affects us is finance. So my thinking is, when I talk to people and say, just think about it. Would you like somebody to take every single day $1 out of your check for no reason, just take $1? You're gonna say no, and you're gonna do whatever you can for that person to not take that dollar. So the same thing for your health. You know, if you keep on eating the same thing over and over, it's taking time out of your life. I read somewhere something like, if you do some exercise, I think they said 30 to 16 minutes a day, it adds 20 minutes. Add 20 minutes to your life. That's what it says. I think I read that in WebMD. So just think about it. If it's so difficult for you, just think about, your money, because you wake up, right? You wake up. I'm a truck driver. I see it all the time. You wake up at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. You wash up, get in the truck and drive. At 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, knowing that your appointment of delivery is 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. You wake up a few hours before your appointment. That can be that day, or it can be the next day. I have talked to drivers that said to me, oh yeah, my appointment's tomorrow. And what are you doing up right now at 1 o'clock in the morning? Oh, I want to avoid traffic. So you're willing to do everything to get that load to its destination, but you're not willing to take time for your health. Because God forbid something happened to you, you passed away unexpectedly, and now you left your wife, your kids, people that cares about you, that loves you, suffering. Like, that's how I look at it. So I think what drivers need to do is, you need to look at what's beneficial to you. Like, what really, really matters to you the most. Put money aside, because that's another thing. People just think about money. And when you come and see, you have the money, and then you don't have the health. And then you don't have the time to share that wealth with anybody, because now you sick, all that money that you made, you have to spend it on medical. Like, I don't know. I don't understand that concept. So me, I tend to think about 5, 10, 20 years. If the Lord gives me that time, I am gonna take it like I'm gonna die tomorrow. We have to, because it's just crazy how a rich country like ours, we're dying of heart attack, and young. Men are dying of heart attack very, very young. I don't understand that. I really don't. And I think that the reason why we get caught up in this way of life is just because we're prioritizing what is important for us. We need to find out what really matters to us. You know, just because, you know, we have to work doesn't mean that we just gonna abandon ourselves. I seen a video, I think it was a documentary, how United States was built. When you look at these skyscrapers and the guys building those things, you don't see no one. I know when I seen the documentary, I didn't see no one heavy. You know, and I'm not knocking people that's heavy. You might be heavy for a reason. I don't know. You know, your glands, you know, medical reason. Okay, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, back then, men's were like, they were in shape, and they were in these tall skyscraper building these, and then walking the street. You didn't see anybody heavy, even women's. If you did, you saw a handful. You did not see a lot. And it's just, I said, why are people doing that? So I can only think about myself, what I did in my life, and the reason why I got heavy. And that reason is because I was just going, and not think about nothing else until I got dizzy, until I didn't feel right, and then I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, hey, this is not looking good. You need to do something. So if this helps you in any way, God bless you, honestly, and do something, not just for yourself, but for your family, for your loved ones. People love you, man, and they want to see you as much as I can, especially if you got little ones. Yeah, I recommend that you take an hour extra, get up and do your exercise. And you don't have to go crazy like what I do, but do 30-minute walk, do some push-ups, some dips. You can do that from the truck. Buy some, you know, some bands in Walmart. They got 10s, 20s, and 50-pound bands. That helps a lot. You know, dumbbells. You know, if you guys want to know more about it, you know, I'm willing to just share it. I'm not trying to hide it. I'm not trying to make it seem like this is something, you know, no one can do now, or secret now. I want to see people healthy, man. Okay, I want to see smiles on these men, because when you walk around, a lot of people is just miserable. Just take time to notice, and you'll see. You'll walk around 3 or 4 people before one says hi. Okay, I hope this helps out. All right, God bless you all, and we'll talk next time.